advertising is a really great way to throw fuel on the fire, but only if the fire's burning. So if you've got a really great message and you've got a great ideal customer and you know what makes them tick and you know how to convert them and you've got landing pages that are converting and you've got a message that's landing, then start running ads. But pretty much if you're early in the journey of this particular product, you've got to assume that you've got none of those things. You've got to assume that your ideal customer persona is off, the messaging's off, the landing pages are off, the key features that you're explaining to people, you're not explaining very well. So you've got to assume that you're not red hot yet. Right. So if you think about how they light a fire in the jungle, it's like you got to really do a lot of reps, build the tension, build the friction, build the heat, and then boom, you get a few sparks. Then you can throw fuel on the fire. So advertising is throwing fuel on the fire. But the really hard work of getting the fire started is a terrible process that everyone wants to avoid called cold outreach. Cold outreach is just freaking horrendous. But so here's what I did, right? So I did have a list of 100,000 people. I did have a social media following and all of that sort of stuff. But I didn't want to use my list and I didn't want to use my social media following publicly for something that wasn't tested that could crash and burn. So when we were launching Score App, I literally sent 3,000 DMs. I created different messaging and I sent out like 150 in batch one and 150 in batch two. And I did like 20 batches of 150 to see if I could figure out which messaging would get the most people. And what we did is we ended up just running a series of introduction events on Zoom. And my call to action, so a typical cold outreach message for me was something like, hey, Matt, over the last 5 years, we've been using scorecards in our marketing. These are like online assessments that people answer. It's been really successful for us. I've done a breakdown of how we've been using these. If you're interested in knowing what marketing strategy worked for us in the last 5 years, our top performing marketing strategy, come and join me for a Zoom event. I'm going to do a 30-minute overview and then 30 minutes of Q&A to give you a bit of an overview of what we've been doing that works. And that kind of a message got people to book onto a Zoom call. And then for every 100 people who booked onto a Zoom call, about 50 would show up. For every 50 who would show up, we would get people basically committing that they wanted to get themselves a scorecard and that they wanted to set up and do this. I sat down and I did, outreach on LinkedIn, and I even did face-to-face meetings or Zoom meetings, one-to-one meetings. I even did this horrible thing where I told customers that we would set it up for them, but it would be $1,000 to set up. Now I knew that we were going to make this $29 a month, £29 a month. But I wanted to tell them that it was $1,000 setup fee. So when I did the one-to-one sales meetings, I said, so after the $1,000 setup fee, where my team will do the setup, you'll pay $29 a month. But the reason I did that is I wanted to see what objections they had, because no one's going to give me their real objections if I ask them for $29 a month on a free trial. If I give them a free trial and say, hey, just sign up for free, see how it goes, and then if you like it, it's $29 a month. Oh, okay. Just to be polite, they're going to just say, yeah, sure. So what I did with my one-to-ones is I did a hard sales close. And I said, I'd love to get you signed up today for $1,000 setup fee and then $29 a month. What are your thoughts? Right? Because I want the objection. I want them to say no because of this, or I don't think it'll work because of this, or I'm really stuck on this particular idea. So I've got to get that out of them. Now that we've got all of that stuff, now we can ramp up with ads.